welcome to your reading. I'm so happy I am able to read you. And I know you wanted a twin flame reading on Henry. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to channel and see just what general messages Spirit has about your twin flame. Anything that comes through, visions I might be seeing and stuff like that. And then after I'm done channeling, I'm going to pull tarot cards and I'm going to ask about his feelings, what he's going through right now, what he wants and things like that, the messages that you need to know about him. I do have multiple decks, so I'm probably going to be pulling multiple decks on you, so we can get everything that you need to know. So, okay, this is what's coming through about Henry. I feel like Henry is... I'm getting blue energy, so that could have something to do with his throat chakra. I'm also feeling there's a lot of protection around you specifically. That's just wanting to come through. You have a lot of angelic energy around you. And I am pulling some tarot as well because I think they just want me to go right into the tarot. I am seeing pink as well, so that has to do with like unconditional love, playfulness. When it's in the brighter hue of pink, it can be new beginnings as well. Okay. Henry could be going through some things right now. I don't know if there's like a third party situation going on. There might be like a third party or something like that, possibly. And then Four of Pentacles came out. So we got the Five of Wands, which has to do with competition. So a lot of the time when you pull the Five of Wands on somebody, it could mean that they just are having a lot of battles in their personal life. They possibly could be having a lot of people interested in them or just having third parties. And that's kind of like the first thing I thought. So people who might be competitive, or I don't know if he's possibly competitive towards you as well. Like, I don't know if you're talking to possibly multiple people, but he could possibly be competitive with anybody that you might be interested in romantically. And if it's not that, it could be the other way around. So he could be having a lot of people who are possibly interested in him or some sort of third party, but it's causing some sort of conflict. That's kind of what I'm getting with the Five of Wands. There's some sort of conflict, but the thing about the Five of Wands, sometimes it could also be playful flirting. So you could also get this, like, if you're like, a competitive with him, like sometimes you might flirt or something, or he might tease you and he might kind of like, push you a little bit. And what I mean by push you, like kind of like, just like, well, I can't explain it. When guys kind of like tease the girls they like, they might be a little mean towards them. But they're doing it because they're flirting with them. I don't know if it's necessarily that meaning, possibly, but that card could also mean that as well. So if you guys have been in an energy where you've been feeling like it's been very playful, or you feel like he's kind of been teasing you, or you've been teasing him, and y'all are kind of competitive with each other a little bit, or might kind of rough each other up a little bit, that could be the playful flirting card. But if it's not that meaning, it could mean that he could just be going through some obstacles in his life. There could be people trying to interfere in y'all's connection possibly, or there could be like some sort of like just competition around him, or y'all could both be competitive with each other. So that's usually what the Five of Wands means. I'm going to clarify that card really quickly though. We have the Six of Swords. So Six of Swords to me could be moving in a more peaceful direction. So interesting. We have the Page of Cups reversed. So when you get the Page of Cups upright, usually that's somebody who has really good news, right? And it also could be like a, well, not even just necessarily good news, but it could be like emotional news. Like, it could also mean like the crush card. Like if a guy has a crush on you, it can mean that, you know, somebody might be having a child. It could mean that somebody's writing you a love letter. It could be a letter from like a loved one or something of an emotional nature. But the Page of Cups also is immature. So in some situations, it could also be a court card. So it can represent a person, right? So this Page of Cups would be somebody, like I said, they're young, they're immature, they're shy, they could be very sensitive. It could be like a crystal child or a rainbow child, or like just a very like highly sensitive child or highly sensitive person who's very childlike or youthful. So when it's in the reverse, sometimes it could mean some sort of like sad emotional news. So I don't know if he's necessarily going through like a breakup of some sort, or he could possibly going through some sort of situation that has like kind of hurt him emotionally. That's kind of what I'm getting from that. Especially with kind of like the Six of Swords under these cards. Six of Swords could sometimes mean family as well. Yeah, he could be going through a lot emotionally. He could be feeling sad. There could possibly be a separation. That could also be a meaning of the Page of Cups reverse. But let me pull another clarifier on that card and see exactly what the Page of Cups reverse is meaning specifically with that. We have Page of Wands. That's interesting because what I'm kind of getting with this, there could definitely be some sort of like third party influence here, because Page of Wands can also mean social media stalking. And the Page of Wands could be somebody who's like is like a fire sign, but it's like an immature fire sign. So there could be somebody around him who's very like emotionally immature, or maybe he's not really the most emotionally mature right now. Maybe he's learning how to be more emotionally immature. Sometimes Page of Cups can reverse, could also be like having like fights of some sort. So like maybe like fights in a relationship or disagreements in a love relationships. And so the energy to me kind of feels a little obnoxious with the Page of Wands under it. So maybe he's acting a little bit childish in some sort of way. Possibly, and especially with the Five of Wands here, because to me the Five of Wands is competition. Somebody who's kind of rebellious and is fighting, and somebody who, I don't know, I'm kind of getting like a vision of, you know, like a young kid, like a young boy on a playground. He's like picking at all the girls on the playground, and he's kind of being a butthole towards the guys towards the guys and girls on the playground. But the reason he's a butthole is because he has feelings towards them. That's the vibe I'm kind of getting. So I don't know if that's how you feel right now in the connection with him. You feel like he's possibly just being very weird, or you feel like you want him to be a little bit more emotionally mature. And if this is not necessarily how you feel about him, maybe what he's going through personally, maybe he might be having that in his everyday life. Maybe he's, when it comes to the idea of like being in a romantic relationship or love, maybe he's just needing to mature a little bit more. Like there's something immature here, because we have the Pages. Pages to me is somebody who's younger. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe he could be feeling indecisive about how he feels as well. That could possibly be something he's going through as well. We have Four of Pentacles. So he's a possessive. Also, Four of Pentacles can be somebody who's kind of having a hard time opening up their emotions. Especially in this position, because like we said, we have the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands and the Five of Wands and all that. So he could be having a hard time opening up, but this could also be, like I said, somebody who wants to have their cake and eat it too. So he wants what he wants. And he might come off as aloof, but he also can be possessive. Like, this could be somebody who's jealous too. And we have Justice. So to me, Justice, there could be some karmic stuff going on. Like this, he could be going through a karmic cycle, or the two of you could be going through some sort of karmic cycle together. That's kind of how I interpret that. Seven of Cups. Yeah, he's indecisive. He's going through some indecisiveness with his emotions. He's afraid to open himself up. He's afraid to open up himself. And he might have, like I said, sexual temptation on him, because they're showing me the snake in this card, and he's having a hard time, like, making decisions. Like, I feel like he needs to, like, mature a little bit. We have the Six of Cups came out. So Seven of Swords came out under the Justice card. So Justice, like I said, is you reap what you sow. It could be representing a karmic cycle in a relationship. It can represent, somebody like, getting fairness, wanting balance to a connection. And then Seven of Swords is under that. So Seven of Swords is somebody who's trying to be strategic. Somebody who's trying to manipulate something, come up with a plan of some sort. And then, like I said, we have Six of Cups, which is nostalgia. So he feels, this is a very youthful energy. I almost feel like, I don't know how old he is, but if he's young, he could be still, like I said, coming into his emotional maturity. And so because he's still coming into his emotional maturity, he can sometimes have a hard time opening up and making decisions in regards to how he feels about you, or how he feels about women around him. And if he's not young, he could be almost going through, I don't want to say like going through like a midlife crisis, or going through some like period where he feels like he's a teenager again, and he's kind of acting like a teenager again. But I think it's coming from this space of him, maybe he went through a breakup, or maybe he went through some sort of situation that kind of like broke his heart, and so now he wants to get revenge on that. That might not be a situation at all. It just depends on his age. So, like, depending on how old he is, that definitely affects the way he could be acting. And like I said, another outcome, if he's not super young, like I said, he could be wanting to relive his teenage years. We have the Ace of Cups reversed. Yeah, like he's definitely going through some stuff here. You have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess he's very intuitive though. And you guys definitely probably have like a soul connection where y'all can hear each other's thoughts. There's telepathy. Or you just know how the other person is feeling. He's just going through a lot of stuff though. When it comes to his love life, it's like he's very indecisive. He doesn't feel like he understands who he is right now. It doesn't feel like he has, a clear direction of where he's going. It just seems like he has all these distractions around him, and I think that's causing him to be aloof. If you guys are not in communication, that's the reason why. And if you guys are in communication, he might be having a hard time just wanting to commit. Or he could be having just a hard time wanting to admit his feelings, possibly, or wanting to express himself. He's having a hard time expressing himself. But part of the reason is because he's still coming into his maturity and still learning who he is. So I'm going to pull on his feelings towards you specifically. That was just like general cards I pulled on him. Okay, it says, let's ask, how does he feel about Amy? How does Henry feel about Amy, Spirit? Oh, we got 3 of Wands. That's a good card. Got the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, he's possessive towards you, but he's very shy towards you to a certain degree, I feel. Knight of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know when last time you guys saw each other, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's really focusing on you a lot, because we got 3 of Wands as him planting seeds. So he's definitely been thinking about you. I definitely do feel that. 3 of Wands is somebody who's been wanting to bring something into their life for a long time. They might be having a hard time being patient for it, because the person in this card is looking out in the ocean, waiting for the ship to come to them, because they have put out something and they're waiting for the results to come back. So I don't know if he's necessarily has been setting intentions with you specifically, been wanting you to come back, or he's been setting intentions to be with that person he's always wanted to be, or he's just set intentions to communicate, where he's done something where he set an intention specifically towards you. That's kind of what I get with the 3 of Wands. And the Wheel of Fortune is somebody, well, it can be 2 meanings. It can be somebody who feels like they have a faded connection with someone, but it could also be someone who is feeling up and down about a situation. So one minute he could be feeling super positive about the 2 of you, or feeling like he's on top of the world. The next minute he could be feeling down in the dumps and feeling sad, or in his ego, or what have you, right? Then we have the 4 of Pentacles, which that's possessiveness. That's somebody who's possessive, is someone who can be a little jealous, and someone who could just want someone to themselves. So he could be a little possessive towards you, or when he thinks about you, it kind of brings out a very possessive side, or a jealous side. Like if he thinks about you with another person or dating someone else, it could kind of make him crazy. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, which he's staring deeply at that pentacle, which is you. And we also have the Page of Pentacles next to it. So he's very infatuated with your energy. Also, Knight of Pentacles is not very fast. Like I said, with the 3 of Wands, then the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, those cards are kind of, I don't want to say they're slow moving, but they can be a little bit slow. So I almost feel like he wants to take his time with you, or that he's a little shy or nervous when it comes to you, and it causes him to be a little slower in the way he pursues you, or the way that you feel the connection is going with him, or the way he sees the connection. But I'm getting like a strong sense of shyness, and also curiosity is coming to mind when I see the way he feels about you with these cards. So you got 5 cards, so he wants to definitely bring some sort of change in y'all's connection probably as well, but it might not be in the fastest way, because we, like I said, we have 3 of Wands, so he's definitely set some intention towards you in some sort of way. He's put out some sort of energy to God or the universe that he wants to be with you, or that he wants you to come back to him in some sort of way. If you guys are not in union. Now, if you guys are together, he could have, set intentions to do certain things with you. So maybe he has visions of what he would like to do with you, how he would like to treat you. If he likes to go out on dates, maybe how he would like to go out on a date with you, or take you out on a date. Various things like that. That's kind of what I'm getting with the way he sees you and the way he feels about you, though. Okay, I'm looking at your other questions here. What he wants with, okay, so I'm going to put on what he wants with you in the future. Okay, let me. Page of Wands. I feel like that's definitely sexual. I got the Page of Wands on him. So that's him wanting something sexual with you. I'm going to also pull on his thoughts under what he wants as well. We got, oh my. We got the Four of Swords. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's like obsessively thinking about you, to be honest. You have the Chariot. He has fire energy. I don't know what his sign is or how his astrology looks, but he has this strong fiery energy to me. If he doesn't have a fire sign in his sun, he might have a fire sign somewhere else in his chart that's very dominant, because we have Page of Wands and the Chariot for what he wants from you. And then under that, what his thoughts are, we have the Four of Swords and the King of Wands. So there's a lot of yellow in these cards. So he's definitely very motivated. He's very fiery. I wouldn't be surprised if he just wants you to chase him down and he wants you to be really aggressive towards him. That's what I'm getting. I'm also feeling like he wants to explore something different with you. Like he wants to try something different with you. Like something he's never done before. But the Chariot also can have to do with our purpose. So he wants to see you win and see you be your fiery, passionate self. He likes seeing you very passionate. I wouldn't even be surprised if he wants to see you in your purpose as well, whatever your purpose is, or whatever he sees you doing, he might want to see that within you. Whatever he sees you doing, he wants to see that in you. The Four of Swords is somebody who's praying, laying down. And to me, that's like I wouldn't be surprised if he's just really thinking about you. A lot of time when I get this card for people, it's because they're really thinking hard about you. But it's like in a meditative state. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he just lays down sometimes at night and he just goes into constant thought patterns or thought processes that have you in it. And then King of Wands is that, what I'm getting from that is like, I feel like he's very passionate. And I feel like, he wants to be fiery. You know what I'm saying? So he's very fiery. But it's in a mature way, right? The king is a mature, so he wants to be mature, right? But I'm getting a very fiery energy here. Let me see what else you asked me. His thoughts. Let me pull on his thoughts really quickly. We pulled on his feelings. In this last few minutes, we're going to pull on his thoughts here. We have 9 of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. Yeah, he's fantasizing about you a lot. We have the Tower. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like sexual fantasies about you. Got the World. He's putting you on a pedestal in his mind. I feel like that's one of the reasons why he gets nervous. Because like when I'm tuning into his thoughts, it makes me nervous. Like I feel like he gets very nervous about you because I feel like he puts you on such a pedestal in his mind. Like, so whatever he's going through it with that other stuff, if he is dealing with other people, like you're definitely his top priority. And he's like, you're his like, I guess the one that he really wants to be with, because we have the World here, right? And the world is somebody who's on a pedestal, but the world can also mean like somebody is admiring you from afar. So he's like admiring you from afar. And then the Passion card kind of wants to stick out as well from my other deck. And then we have Knight of Pentacles. He thinks you're just so independent. He sees you as a goddess. He sees you as doing your thing, remaining unbothered, just being yourself. And possibly making money as well, because the Nine of Pentacles, she's growing all this money in her garden. And she's just like planting all these seeds and growing all these crops. And so that could represent you just doing what you want to do and just you living your life. Knight of Cups is somebody who's fantasizing about you. When you get the Knight of Cups for a guy's feelings towards you, or how a guy thinks about you specifically, means that they're constantly fantasizing about you. So he thinks about you a lot, a whole lot. And we have the Tower. So the Tower can represent some sort of like something coming to an end or crashing down. But you could even interpret it as this, though. Sometimes it could also be interpreted as a sexual meaning as well. If you get what I mean, like the tower blowing up. But again, yeah, I feel like he's definitely in his element, though. I feel like he's definitely thinking about you a lot. It's very strong. And what I'm really getting is just to continue like sending him lots of love. I feel like one thing with him right now is that he's coming into his emotional maturity. That's something I noticed when I was tuning to his energy. And I feel like he possibly could have a lot of options right now. So it's like his brain is trying to literally digest everything he's doing and all the people who could possibly be getting in the way of y'all getting together. I would recommend a longer reading at some point too. And the reason I say that is because we could kind of go deeper into like the blocks and stuff in y'all's connection, and I probably could help you out a little bit more. But because this is like a 25-minute reading, I pretty much wanted to tap into everything that you possibly needed, or everything that I possibly could get into. But again, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'm about to send this to you now. If it isn't sent to you through Messenger, I'm going to send it to your email and share it to you through Google Drive. But